Okay, so now we're gonna switch, and I'll ask you some questions, and then
I
I'll
think
give
this
you
is
your
fun.
feedback. So, same thing. How can limited time impact the workplace?
I think limited time can significantly impact your workplace. Similar to what you were saying, a lot of mistakes can happen. I think in our department, we're events, we're marketing, we're planners. And so for us, planning is the key strategy. And so many things can fall through the cracks. It doesn't allow room for error.
Can you think of an example of when you've been in this situation?
Oh, yes. In more recent times, though, because we've been restructuring our company, it's such a large company, 1,000 employees, and 12 dealerships, a lot of different departments, and with all the restructuring, sometimes changes need to be made very quickly, and the processes sometimes aren't in place, and people are leaning on the marketing department to implement these processes, to get it together. And when we do that, we tend to maybe produce pieces, collateral, for example, that might have mistakes on it or missing a key element after we sent it to the printer. Even though we've all looked at it, we're just trying to get it off our plates.
And even it hinders the creativity a little bit too. So yeah,
absolutely.
Did you read and adapt to the situation well?
Well, at first I was really frustrated, and then I just had to sit back and go, you know what? We only have so many hours in the day. We want to make this look good. We want to be professionals. So we just need to take a step back and strategize in our team and our strengths and say, you know what, even though, we have different roles, who's really good at this in our department?
That person.
And so that's what we've been doing is, the people that are really good at the process, the pieces of the process, I've been able to kind of like let go and say, okay, Jordan, you're really good at this, or Evelyn, you're really good at that, instead of feeling like I have to take it all on my shoulders.
So that's what you'll do to look towards the future and make it better?
Yeah, for sure. I think that as I grow too as a leader, it's really important to, where I came from before, I was really a one-man band, so I was used to doing everything on my own. So I need to trust that the people around me can also handle those tasks.
And I think what's helped us too a lot is when we have our shared calendar on the wall, we can write everything in, and even underneath it put what's upcoming and whatever else. And then I have my own little planner, and you have yours on your computer, and we share it. So I think eventually, as we streamline all that, we'll all
that has been so beneficial. Yes.
How can too much work impact the workplace?
Well, too much work, again, it all sort of intertwines, because too much work, again, allows for a lot of errors, a lot of long hours. I think that that can negatively impact us as well.
Employees can feel burnt out and just,
yes.
Work at the end of the day is supposed to be something that's not always easy, but it's something you enjoy.
Right.
So if you're coming to work stressed about all the stuff you have to do, you're not really enjoying what you're doing.
Correct.
So too much can.
And I think, I'm the type of person who it's written on my face. So if I'm stressed out, somebody will know it. Normally our team, we're like little cheerleaders, but the moment our team's stressed, we're all like, they're like, uh-oh, something's up in marketing.
Can you think of a specific example of when you've been in this situation?
Yeah, well, currently we have way too many meetings, in my opinion. In the restructuring process, there's so much good that's going on, and I see where we're going and why all these pieces are so important and these meetings are so important. But there's limited time to implement all these strategies, and so that's very frustrating, and it's just too much work because you want to do them effectively and efficiently, but it's a lot of work.
How are you adapting to that right now?
So I think it's really helped me take a step back and block time on my calendar where I'm only focused on following up on some of those things. Instead of just moving things very quickly, I've really been trying to block time every day, either in the morning or the afternoon, where that's all I'm focused on is just follow up from these meetings, because otherwise I still have all the other tasks in my normal scope of my job to do, all the events coming up and things like that, but these action items as a result of these meetings, they have to get them too.
It's like a to-do list, and you put what's most important at the top, and then what else you can work on. You're still on your plate, but it's just down a little bit.
Exactly, and then I feel more accomplished when I
when
leave
you
it.
can check.
Yes, a lot of sticky notes.
And can you anticipate being in that situation again in the future? And when is that going to happen?
Well, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. So I do anticipate it not really changing. So I need to adapt what I'm doing and work smarter. and just continue on with my plan. And if the sticky notes and the dry erase boards and blocking my calendar is not working, I've got to come up with a new strategy.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so how can other people not doing their part impact the workplace?
Well, when other people don't do their jobs, it definitely negatively affects what we have implemented out of our department. Because at the end of the day, when something's not working, it seems like it falls back on marketing for whatever reason.
Because it starts there with just a moving piece, but yeah, the whole picture is making it like it's our problem. Yep. Can you think of an example of when you've been in that situation? Did you read and adapt to it well?
Yeah. So outside of events, a lot of what the marketing does is create the customer experience and the employee experience. So that's a big part of who we are. So our branding, our whole identity. We have situations across some of our dealerships where our service drives have been understaffed, which means that affects the customer experience. And also in terms of setting those service appointments, the service coordinators weren't quoting the appropriate time. So if you were coming in for, say, an oil change, something very simple, and you're there 2 hours, well, that's a problem,
right?
You know, so that has been a challenge of ours, because then that customer experience then goes up on some of the internet reviews, which you handle those, and we see those, and we're like, this is a problem. So one of the things that that we've done is we bought a new program to where we can go in and actually, when the service coordinators are setting those appointments, really have more of a true quote time.
Right.
And
so
then,
they're honest up front.
Right. And then and also a customer can log in and watch the process of their car. So it'll say like,
and
it's in
feel
this
more
drive,
secure,
it's in there.
and they'll be like, okay, it's getting there, it's getting there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's been a big thing. And then for our employee experience, I know you and I work together on really creating that family environment with our two slogans, come join the family and serving customers for life. Those are just two big things that resonate on a daily basis in our office. But you know, we've taken on the challenge of celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, milestones, just
I
everything.
definitely think it's important when we celebrate the smaller, more simple things that a lot of people wouldn't think of. Like even just me sending the email saying happy birthday, just makes them feel like, oh, okay, someone's paying attention, someone cares. So it's important to focus on those small things. And then as far as the customers, it's definitely an issue when it gets to us and we have to like fix what has already happened instead of making it right from the beginning.
Exactly.
So yeah, as long as we go down to the very, very beginning where it starts and try to improve those processes, I think it'll just get easier throughout.
And I think one of the things as a company as a whole is that we focus on the social contract. So when we have conflict, when we have situations, when we talk about all the branding issues or the conflicts or struggles that we would have as a company and as employees, we focus back on what it's like our mission and value statement. So we have our social contract, but our number one thing in there is having fun. So at the end of the day, if we've had fun, then I feel like we've had a good day.
I agree. And then how can conflict between and among employees impact the workplace?
So conflict is not good. I mean, there's healthy conflict, of course, because you want everybody to feel valued. You want to be able to express your opinion. I mean, look, we're not all going to have the same thought process. I can do something very differently than you and still come out with a great outcome. But it can definitely negatively affect the workplace.
And can you think of an example when there's been conflict?
Well, one of the things that we do to challenge ourselves in resolving that conflict is refer to our social contract.
Right.
And have peer mediators or have face-to-face, meetings, of course, with somebody else in the room, because you never want it to get heated and escalated. So when we have those shoe circle meetings with the vice president, I think it's super effective because people can bring their challenges and conflicts that they may have, and it's a non-threatening environment, so they can sort of tell on people.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I like that when the way she structures the meetings is that she doesn't have their next boss, like their immediate boss right there, so that they still can feel comfortable expressing what's happening, because if no one says it, it's never going to change.
Right, and I love it because it's a no judgment zone. So if you've got a problem, it's really important that you bring the problem and the solution, and then we open it up for discussion.
She always asks for solutions.
But if it's more on a one-on-one, that's important too, because if you don't feel like you're heard, then that's the biggest problem. Then that can
That's
spread
when
like
you-
wildfire,
yeah, and then
gossip
that's when
and
people
mess.
talk badly, talk negatively, and then they eventually get to the point where they want to leave because
Exactly.
they just feel like it's never going to get better.
And then there's fallout in the whole department,
Right.
because who's picking up
the
that
slack
job?
when that person
Right,
leaves, so it just all kind of can
exactly.
snowball.
Exactly.
So how do you think you can adapt to that in the future?
So I think I'm getting pretty good at coming up with challenges and solutions.
Yeah.
I think it's actually made me think more creatively about how to get things done. And then also, again, involving my team in it. So saying, hey Jordan, what about this? Do you want to take this on?
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally overloaded. Why don't I teach you how to do the golf sponsorships?
Mhm.
Or, can you be the lead person on a particular project or job?
I think when it helps when you lay out specific things that each employee is doing, then that also prevents conflict. That prevents, well, I was working on that. Why'd they give it to you? Or,
right.
You're not overlapping. So definitely it's just all about planning and organizing everything, which we know all about. And then, so I guess that's just how we'll handle it in the future and just work on adapting.
Thanks, Jordan.